Welcome to Gunsmoke Theater. I'm Dennis Daly. Very few radio or television programs had such an impact on their medium that they changed everything. One of those shows was Gunsmoke. Yes, it ran 20 years on television, but the TV show was a child of the radio show, which itself ran nearly a decade. Sit back now for the next hour as we go back into the archives and play some of those great episodes of the show that changed everything, Gunsmoke. As we listen to the early episodes of Gunsmoke, one thing is very clear. CBS had some incredible actors who became really regulars on the show, even though they used different voices. Harry Bartell is showing up a lot in these early broadcasts. We haven't seen Georgia Ellis as Miss Kitty yet, but Doc is there, a little bit more of an ambulance chaser than he will become later in the run, lovable Parley Bear, and of course William Conrad as Matt Dillon. Back now to July 19, 1952.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with the U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Hey, all you pretty travelers, you listen to me. You gotta get welcome to Dodge City proper like. Hey, you there, mister. I said you.
You addressing me, sir?
I reckon I am. You a preacher?
Not exactly.
You dress like a preacher.
If you'll excuse me.
Back up, fancy pants. If you ain't no preacher, I figure on making you dance some for the folks.
You think you can hoorah me?
Dude, I said dance. Dance or the next shot will take off one of your toes.
I don't think I'd like that.
Doc, no. All right, Thorn, put up the gun.
Marshal, you got a wild and woolly town here.
Marshal, you move aside. I'm gonna make this grinning dude kick up his heels for us.
I'd say that might be quite a trick, Thorn. Unless he's changed a lot since I last met him. Have you, Doc?
Not for the good, Matt.
I was afraid.
You pasty-faced tenderfoot. I said for you...
Shut up, Thorn. He's drunk, Doc.
He's dead. You just don't know it yet.
I'll take it good if you'd meet me later at my office.
All right, Matt. For you.
Well, that's sure a lot of talk. Now I'm going to shoot that dude's boot heels.
Fire one shot and I'll pistol whip you, Thorn.
What's that? You're kind of forgetting who's holding a gun, ain't you? Oh!
I wasn't forgetting.
Oh, my wrist. You broke my wrist.
I doubt it. Now let's go to jail.
Oh, you can't put me in jail. I'm Thorn Finley.
Move.
Oh, you wait like hell, Big Jack, about this. And I will, too.
Do that. He might be grateful to me for saving your neck. You've pulled some fool stunts, Thorn, but you've never been closer to dying than just a minute ago.
You mean from that fancy pants? Oh, I could handle 6 like him.
That makes you a lot of man. I can name a dozen pretty good gun hands who can't handle one of him.
What?
That's Doc Holliday.
There you are.
Salute, Matt.
Salute, Doc. That sounds worse, Doc.
Yeah, I got orders to go to Arizona. Air's dry there, better for my lungs.
Going?
Thought I might. Wyatt invited me to visit him. He and Virgil and Morgan of the law down there. Some little mining town called Tombstone.
Well, it sounds peaceful anyway.
If it isn't, it will be by the time White Herb gets through. He is the peacemakingest man I ever met outside of you. Matt, who was the tellerhead down at the depot, anyway?
Oh, Thorn? He's just a spoiled kid.
Kid? Couldn't be much younger than you.
Sure, but Thorn never grew up. His father has coddled him and protected him and gotten him out of scrapes ever since he was a pup. He's never had to be a man. Not with Big Jack wet nursing him.
Big Jack. Big Jack Finley.
Oh, you know him?
I've heard of him.
Well, that figures. He owns about half of Kansas. Star in a box runs more cows than he can count.
Swings a lot of weight in Dodge.
Too much.
Mr. Dillon? Mr. Dillon, somebody said that Doc Holliday had come into town today and he... Oh, excuse me.
It's all right, Chester. Why don't you shake hands with him?
Don't mind if I shake with my left hand. It's a kind of habit.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Dillon has the same habit.
He would. How about dinner tonight, Matt?
Sure. How long will you be in Dodge?
Not long. Just till I finish a chore.
Oh? That, chore have anything to do with Big Jack Finley?
Might say so. Gonna kill him.
All right, Dillon. Turn him loose.
You, forgot to close the door, Mr. Finley.
You're going to turn my boy loose, or I'm going to have to do it for you.
You got a writ of habeas corpus?
Writ? Thorn didn't commit no crime.
Charges are drunken, disorderly, disturbing the peace, and attempted assault with a deadly weapon.
I was.
You still need a writ.
But, man, Judd and Nathan does what I say, and you know it. Don't you think I can get a writ?
I'm sure you can and will. You always do.
Then what's the point, Dillon? It's just a lot of useless red tape.
It's a law. And close the door on the way out. All right, Thorn.
Didn't I tell you Big Jack would get me out? When are you going to learn you can't play?
Save the speeches.
The law can't touch a Finley. You ought to get smart, Marshal.
Like you?
Sure, like me. Hi, Big Jack.
You okay, son?
Fine.
Anything else, Mr. Finley?
Why, yes. My boy here is a little boisterous sometimes, I know. High-spirited, you understand?
Uh-huh.
So I want to put a stop to all this nonsense of yours arresting him every time he kicks up his heels a bit.
Well, go on.
Well, I'm offering you a job. Let's say protecting my interests. $200 a month.
And no work, naturally.
I see we understand each other perfectly. No work, of course.
All I have to do is just shut my eyes whenever Junior here breaks the law, huh?
I said we understand each other. There's no need to elaborate on it, Dillon.
There's a big need. Only how do I explain to a person like you that some men don't wear a price tag?
Huh?
How do I explain how I feel about a so-called respectable citizen making the law his private doormat?
Hey, you're nothing but the stupid gunman I've always thought you were. I understand you took the part of Doc Holliday against my son.
I kept Thorne from committing suicide, yeah.
You sided with a notorious killer against an important citizen of this community. Now I'm telling you, Dillon, get rid of Doc Holliday. I don't want him in Dodge tomorrow.
Doc may be a gunfighter, but he's clear with the law, Finley, and a better man than your son will ever be.
What? Why,
That hurts, doesn't it?
I'm serving notice, Marshal. You run that killer out of Dodge City, or I'll do it myself.
Big Jack Finley, cattleman and self-made king of southern Kansas. No better or worse than most of the men carving empires out of the West, until love for his son blinded him to the fact that Thorn Finley had gone bad. And from here on, I knew the war was on between Big Jack and me.
So Big Jack Finley's going to run me out of town, huh?
No, unless I do it first.
Oh? I do something naughty, Matt?
Well, you threatened a man's life.
That. And just between friends, Matt.
Anything else, Doc? Not murder.
Murder? I'd give him an even break.
With you, that's still murder. Don't you think you better tell me about it?
Mm-hmm. What if I don't tell you?
Now, then my job's to warn Finley and try to protect him.
You're a tough man to be friends with, Matt.
It applies to you, too, doesn't it?
Guess maybe it does at that. Didn't realize I put you on the spot by spouting off my good intentions. Sorry.
Forget it. You want to talk to me?
All right. Remember a girl named Ruth Davis?
Mm-hmm. Died in a riding accident a few months ago. Always wondered if that wasn't suicide. She lost her brother 2 weeks before that.
No accident. No suicide.
You sure?
Sure. You know, Ruth and her brother ran the ranch alone.
Mm-hmm.
A man started pestering Ruth, and she hated him. Her brother kicked the man off the ranch. This fellow dry gulched Ruth's brother, made it look like a robbery.
You have any proof of this?
Yeah. Ruth was afraid to go to the law, so she sent a letter to me. Here, read it yourself. She says the man was Finley and says she expects him to try and shut her up for good.
Well, that doesn't mean it's Big Jack.
I went to see Ruth's folks. They had her belongings. Among them, I found this.
Watch chain.
Engraved JF on the clasp. Jack Finley. You see why I've got to kill him, Matt? He forced Ruth's horse over that cliff, sure. Or do you still think she died accidental?
No. But who's responsible is something for a court to decide.
Court? With Finley's money and influence, he wouldn't spend 5 days in jail even if he was convicted, which he wouldn't be.
He doesn't own the court.
Maybe not, but it's still the most powerful man in the state against a dead girl whose only friend is Doc Holliday. How do you think a judge will decide?
Doc, I'm going to ask you a favor.
Make it one I can give.
I got an idea, but you must let me handle it my way. Give the law a chance.
All right, Matt, I can wait.
Thank you. I'll keep this letter and chain for a while.
All right, but if the law fails, I'll brace Big Jack Finley when he walks out of the courthouse.
And you'll be bracing 2 men, Doc. Finley and me. Come in.
Morning, Marshal. Looks like it'll be a fine day.
Well, you're up kind of early just to bring me a weather report, aren't you, Judge Nathan?
Huh? Oh, well, I want to see you.
Now, go right ahead. You mind if I finish shaving?
No, please do. Just thought I'd chat with you about the...
About the Finleys?
Yes. It seems that Big Jack's very upset by your attitude.
I'm not surprised.
Feels you're a little rough on his boy.
I am. But then his boy's a little rough.
Yeah. Well, perhaps Thorn is high-spirited, like yesterday.
Yesterday he was just plain high. Tell me, Judge Nathan, how do you like being on Finley's payroll?
What?
You know, you used to be a pretty decent person.
Oh, you can't talk to me like...
Yes, I can. I'm sending a copy of Thorn's record to the governor.
Governor?
And with it, I'm sending a list of the rich you've issued to get him out of jail and a copy of the court records.
I've only tempered my justice with mercy, that's all.
Thorn's been arrested for 18 offenses, convicted of 10, spent no time in jail, and paid a total of $15 in fines. I'd say you've been very merciful.
You said you were sending this to the governor. You haven't actually mailed it yet?
No. You got an out.
Not that I don't feel justified in any decisions I've made, but such a report might cause undue talk at the Capitol.
And ruin your political hopes. Well, my conditions are simple. Get off Finley's payroll now.
Very well.
And give me cooperation from here on, no matter who's involved. Do that and I shelve the report.
I'll do it.
Mr. Dillon, trouble's a-making.
What kind of trouble, Chester?
It's Big Jack Finley, Mr. Dillon. He's rounding up his crew at the Alfraganza. They're going to ride Doc Holliday out of town on a rail. Did you cut yourself shaving?
Doc. Wake up, Doc. It's Matt.
Oh. What's up?
Trouble. Lots of trouble. Big Jack Finley's organizing a little citizens committee of his own hand-picked men coming to escort you out of town.
On a rail?
Yeah, that's the general idea. Here, take your shotgun.
Yeah, I'll hide it under the covers, modest-like.
Yeah. I'll wait against the wall here.
Good. That'll put him in a crossfire.
If it comes to that.
If there's enough of them, we're in a spot.
Yeah, likely we are.
You're risking your neck to save me some bruises. One I owe you, friend Matt.
It's my job.
Still one I owe you.
There he is. Grab him up. All right, stop right there. I'll shoot the man who takes another step.
You think you're going to stop us, Dillon?
I think so. Me and Doc.
Doc.
Show him, Doc.
Sure thing, Marshal. Look, boys, surprise.
Shotgun.
I sure do love surprises.
Dillon, I've got a dozen men with me.
Well, sure, about 6 of them will die, Finley, if you don't crawl out of here fast.
And guess who'll die first, Big Jack?
You there, Moncrief. I always figured you for some brains. Get your boss out of here, quick.
You're sure talking sense, Big Jack.
Shut up, Moncrief. You showing yellow.
Oh, but, man, there's nothing here for us to die over.
Listen to him, Finley. That greener Doc is holding has 18 buckshot in each barrel.
He'll get slaughtered if he triggers that thing.
And I'm getting edgy, Finley.
And me, if I get a coughing spell, I'm liable to shoot without meaning to.
All right. This is twice you have made a Finley back down. You'll never get a third chance. Let's get out of here.
Matt, when you gonna arrest him?
When I'm ready. Not long.
I hope not. Getting impatient to see that man dead.
I got your message, Marshal. I hope it's important.
It is, Moncrief. How long you been foreman for Big Jack?
15, 16 years.
You know him pretty well. Would he be the kind to kill a girl?
No, of course not. Guess he'd kill a man if he got mad enough, but he wouldn't kill no girl, Marshal.
Well, I have proof that he did. A girl and her brother, but it doesn't set right. I'm hoping you can help.
What's your proof, Marshal?
The letter that names Finley as the man. Ruth Davis wrote it before she died.
Ruth Davis.
And this watch chain was found with her belongings. It's engraved on the back.
I know. I was with Big Jack when he bought this chain in Chicago. It was right after his wife died.
Big Jack wear it all the time?
You rode the right hunch, Marshal.
What?
Thorn is your man, just like you figure. He had a yen for the Davis girl, but he kept it quiet. Guess he didn't want it known she throwed him over.
But the watch chain...
Big Jack gave that to Thorn on his 25th birthday. Whole ranch can testify to that.
Good. All right, thank you, Moncrief.
You, gonna try and arrest Thorn?
Why?
If Big Jack believes Thorn killed that girl, it'll break his heart.
Broke her neck.
If he don't believe it,
Then?
he'll protect Thorn. And, Marshal, there's not enough lawmen in the state of Kansas to make Big Jack give up his son.
Yeah, Oh, it's you, Marshal. And,
John Holliday. Doc, this is Judge Nathan.
Holiday? Oh, yes, I've heard of you.
I've heard of you, too, Judge. Wonder which has heard the worst.
What's that? Why,
Judge, I'm here on business.
Oh, of course. Come in, won't you? In my study here, so we won't be disturbed. Now, what is it, Marshal?
I want you to swear out a warrant for Thorn Finley's arrest. Charge, murder. You sure you want to go with me, Doc?
I'm sure.
All right, hold up your right hand.
Oh, no, Matt, you wouldn't make me a lawman.
If you go as my deputy. I'm not letting you make this a private fight.
Yeah, but my friends, if they hear I wore a star... All right, Matt, it's your show.
You swear to uphold and enforce the laws of this community, the state of Kansas, and the United States to the best of your ability as deputy marshal, so help you God?
All of that?
All of that.
I swear.
Here, pin on this badge.
All right, Matt. You know, I'm feeling this badge is going to cramp my style something terrible.
Better breathe our horses going up through this pass. We still got a good ride ahead.
How far?
Oh, about 10 miles.
What do you think, Matt? Will they fight?
Well... Doc!
Stay in your horse, Marshal. Grab some clouds. Keep those hands high. The old Queen's on the other side of the pass behind you. That's being smart, Dillon. Queen will drop you if you touch a gun butt.
You're handy at this bushwhacking, aren't you, Thorn? If Doc
He's all right. My slug seems to have bounced off his thick skull.
Good.
Yeah, let's pull your teeth. Better you do it. With your left hand, reach down and across slow. Pull your gun out with your fingertips and toss it away.
Nervous?
Just cautious.
Or maybe this Queen doesn't exist, huh, Thorn?
Queen! Queen's one of Dad's men, but I pay him extra to work for me. Any more questions?
I guess not. There's my gun.
The rifle next.
I got a penknife in my pants pocket.
You know why Holliday came to Dodge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you do. You wouldn't be riding with him. Well, he's not going to tell any stories to my dad or anyone else.
You can't kill us, you stupid...
Not planning on killing you.
And what have you got planned?
Queen's kind of a magician. He's going to make Holliday just disappear. Folks won't care much about one of his kind.
I would. I'd care so much I'd hang you for it.
No, with Holliday gone, it's your word against mine. And you won't be able to approve a thing, Dillon.
You sure of that?
I'm sure. Otherwise, I'd take care of you along with Holliday. Now get on and start walking back to town. It's like I told you. Law can't touch a Finley.
It was no time for heroics, so I walked. When I reached a turn, I cut back through the rocks, but it was too late. They were gone. And with them, the horses, guns, and Doc Holliday. 2 miles up the road, I found my horse turned loose. And with a mind full of cold hate, I raced onto the Star in a box. On the front porch of the ranch house was one of Big Jack's men.
Hold it right there.
Out of my way, mister. I'm in no mood to shake hands.
Where you heading, lawman?
You don't hear well.
Hey, Dillon.
Where's Holliday?
How should I know? Get off my ranch.
Then where's that prize son of yours?
What?
Trot him out. I want him.
Do you now? What on earth for?
Thorn, put that gun away.
Oh, no. This is just in case the marshal loses his temper.
I've lost it, Junior.
Sure.
Dillon, I've had all I'm going to stand from you.
You just think you have. Where's Holliday, Thorn? Where'd Queen take him?
Holiday? Why, I haven't the faintest idea. Where is Queen, Dad?
Riding fence line, but...
See, Marshal, we don't know where your friend is.
You're under arrest, Thorn.
What's that?
Ask him to show the warrant.
Here. Read it, Finley.
What? Oh, no. No, that's not possible. The judge wouldn't issue a warrant without proof.
He has proof, Thorn.
This is a lie. Thorn couldn't be guilty of murder.
No. Take a look at his face.
Son.
Daddy's trying to frame me. Don't let him get away with this.
No, I won't. I won't. Get out, Dillon.
Man, open your eyes. This is not going to help you.
You heard me. I don't believe you, your warrant, or your proof. I believe my son. So get off this ranch. Get out of the state. You let me see you again, so help me, I'll kill you myself.
Forget me. You're bucking the law. You
I
can't
make
do
my own law.
So do I.
Doc Holliday.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be dead. Queen was supposed
He's
to...
the one who's dead. I carry a knife in my boot just for men like him.
Thorn, God help me. You are guilty.
He sure is. And if he knows any prayers, he'd better get 'em over with.
No, Doc. He goes back with us as our prisoner.
You're wrong, Marshal. I'll take care of my son.
Dad. Dad, no.
You
Stay back.
rotten, lying, murderous
Please,
pup.
please don't,
I
Dad.
should have strangled
Stay
you in
away
the
from me.
cradle when you were
Stay away,
just
I'll
a
shoot. I'll
baby.
shoot you all.
Finley, look out! I threw myself at Finley, and both of us hit the floor, rolling away from Thorn as he raised his gun to fire. Then in the doorway, the blood-stained, terrible figure of Doc Holliday went into action. His pale hands blurred over his whole...
For Ruth Thorn. Ruth?
Stage is ready to leave, Mr. Holliday. Thanks, Chester.
You sure you won't stay around a while, Doc?
Yeah, we're good friends, Matt, but you're a peace officer. I guess I'm not a very peaceful man.
You could be, Doc.
No, I'm not going to change, and you shouldn't. Law needs men like you. No, if I stayed, there's too good a chance I might cross you.
Yeah?
Then I'd have to meet you over gun barrels, and it's one thing I'm afraid of. So long, Matt.
Good luck, Doc.
My. I never would have thought Doc Holliday was scared of meeting anyone in a gunfight.
You don't understand, Chester. Doc's afraid because he might beat me.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Herb Purdom, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in our cast were Harry Bartell as Doc Holliday, with Lee Millar, Nestor Paiva, Ralph Moody, and Tom Tully. Parley Bear is Chester. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. Sunday evenings, we invite you to join lovely Doris Day, Spring Byington playing a December Bride, and Audrey Totter as Millie. They're here on most of these same CBS radio stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking.
And they credit Harry Bartell there. He will be so important to the show during its 9-year run. Now to the 26th of July, 1952.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with the U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Matt. Oh, Matt.
Jeannie, what's the matter?
Good morning, Miss Wells.
Good morning, Chester. Matt, I've got to talk to you.
Sure. Chester?
You folks will have to excuse me. I can't be puttering around the office all day. I'll be in the back if you want me.
Yeah?
Matt, he's here in Dodge City. I just saw him. He came in on the morning train.
You mean Ed Beaudry?
Yes. It's been 4 years, Matt. I'd begun to hope he'd forget. Hope he wouldn't find us.
From what you've told me, Beaudry doesn't sound like a man who ever forgets.
He's come here looking for Bert. To kill him, he swore he would. Matt, what are we going to do?
I don't know. What's Bert think about it?
He doesn't know yet. He's busy at the blacksmith shop. Matt, you've got to help us. You're the only real friend we have out here.
It might make it easier if I weren't, Jeannie. I'm supposed to maintain law and order in Dodge. That's my job. Doesn't leave much leeway to mix in on personal quarrels.
Well, there's no quarrel. It's just that Ed Beaudry's a hot-tempered fool. Bert never did anything to him.
He married you, didn't he?
A woman has a right to change her mind, Matt.
Maybe Beaudry doesn't think so.
Matt, you promised me once in Louisville.
Yeah, I know. All right, Jeannie, go on home and don't say anything to Bert. I'll talk to Beaudry.
Thank you. I'll never forget it. Goodbye, Matt.
Chester.
Yes, sir. I'll be right there, Mr. Dillon. Did Miss Wells leave?
Yeah.
Fine couple, the Wellses. Did you know them before they came out west?
Not Bert. I knew Mrs. Wells. I guess we better drop over to the Texas Trail, Chester. There's a fellow in town planning to do some killing.
Matt, it's been a long time.
Hiya, Kitty.
Hello, Chester.
Miss Kitty?
Come sit down, Matt. Tell me about things.
I can't right now, Kitty. We're looking for a fellow. Thought he might have come in here.
Sooner or later, they all do. Stranger, Matt?
Yeah. He came in on the morning train. His name's Ed Beaudry.
Oh, him. There, the bar, Matt. Third from the end, next to Tulsa Jim Nixon. He's buying Irish whiskey for everybody.
Thank you, Kitty. Come on, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Watch yourself, Matt.
Yeah, sure, Kitty. I'll see you later.
All right, bartender, set up another round of Jamesons for the house.
Your name, Beaudry?
Oh, that's right, mister.
Matt Dillon. I'm a U.S. Marshal here. I'd like to talk to you.
Fine, go ahead and talk.
Tulsa, suppose you'll move on down the bar for a couple of minutes, huh?
Oh, what's the idea, Marshal? This man's a friend of mine.
You're not very particular about your friends. Now go on, Tulsa. Drift. Mr. Beaudry, you came here to kill Bert Wells, didn't you?
Did I?
Well, here's some advice. Don't do it. Take the next train and get out of town.
Is that official? Just what's the charge, Marshal?
None. Yet. Murder if you go through it.
Well, not the way I understand it. Murder's one thing. Calling a man in a fair fight, that's another thing.
Beaudry, I'm the law here in Dodge, and I don't see it as a fair fight. Bert's a blacksmith, and he's not used to handling a gun. You are. Or so I'm told.
Who told you, Marshal? I don't know anybody here. Wait a minute, Dillon? Yeah. I heard Jeannie mention you. You knew her back in Louisville before she ran off.
We'll leave her out of this, Beaudry.
So that's it. This isn't official. You're just doing a personal favor for an old friend. Probably a very close friend. Jeannie always did have a weakness.
I warned you once. All right, hold it. Now get up, Beaudry.
That was a mistake, Dillon. Now I'll have to kill you, too.
I'm not a blacksmith, Beaudry.
I'll look you up just soon as I've finished with Bert Wells.
If you kill Bert, you won't have to look me up.
see you. Come here.
I wanted to talk to you, Bert.
About what, Matt?
Ed Beaudry's in town.
Beaudry. Well, it was bound to happen sometime. Has he been bothering Jeannie?
No, she just happened to see him get off the train this morning. She came and told me.
She shouldn't have done it, Matt. It's not your problem.
Maybe it is, Bert. I'm the law in Dodge, and the law doesn't like the idea of personal grudges ended up in a killing.
What do you aim to do?
Prevent it if I can.
Well, I wish you luck.
You haven't worn that gun for 2 years, Bert. Why start now?
I've got no choice, Matt. You know that.
You mean you got no chance? If you let Beaudry call a showdown, he'll kill you.
Maybe.
Look, Bert, why don't you take to the prairie, hole up for a week or so while I figure some way of running Beaudry out of town, huh?
Would you do it, Matt? Hide out and let somebody else do your fighting for you?
Well, what I'd
That's
do is...
beside the point, Bert.
Jeannie.
There's a law against killing. And it's Matt's job to enforce it. If you went away, there wouldn't be any fight.
Wouldn't be much honor either, Jeannie. Man can't run and still call himself a man.
He can run from a mad dog. And that's what Ed Beaudry is. He never had any claim on me.
It appears he thought he did. Matt, you know where Beaudry's staying?
I talked to him in the Texas Trail. He probably took one of the rooms upstairs.
Like to walk over there with me?
Well, if that's the way you want it.
No, Bert, you...
I'll get my hat. Be right with you.
Matt, you've got to stop it.
Yeah? How?
I don't know. But there must be something you can do.
Yeah, there is. Boy, it's shaping up. I can probably arrest the survivor. There's still time to turn back, Bert.
I'm afraid not, Matt. I should have had it out with Beaudry back there in Kentucky 5 years ago. Jeannie wanted to run away and avoid trouble, and she was so beautiful it was hard to argue with her.
Yeah, I know. Be hard on her if anything happened to you.
Life's always hard on a woman, I guess. Worse out here on the prairie. Look out for her, Matt, in case I mean if anything.
Mr. Dillon?
Huh? Oh, what is it, Chester?
Beaudry left the saloon a little while ago. Went over to the livery stable to hire a horse.
Oh?
I think he's riding out to your place, Mr. Wells. He's been doing a lot of talking.
Jeannie will be there alone, Matt. I better get back home.
It won't be necessary. Here comes Beaudry now.
I won't draw unless he does, Matt.
Heads up, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Oh. Just riding out to call on you, Wells. I decided you'd had plenty of time to look me up.
No reason to, Beaudry.
Most men would figure they had reason. Somebody been in a local saloon, telling their wife's history.
What? Beaudry, you... All right, hold it. Don't draw, Bert. Chester, cover Beaudry.
Just keep your hands still, Mr. Beaudry.
You're fast with that gun, Dillon.
Fast enough, Mr.
You make
Beaudry.
a good bodyguard. Too bad you can't ride her 24 hours a day.
I told you what to expect if you keep pushing this thing, Mr. Beaudry. Now use some sense and get out of town while you're still alive.
I've been in lots of towns, Dillon. I left them all alive. Wells, I've been planning to kill you for 5 years.
Plans don't always work out.
Listen, Will. You got till sundown. After that, I'm going to shoot you on sight.
All right, Mr. Beaudry. If you finish speaking your piece, move along.
Why, surely, Mr. Dillon. See you later.
Well, still a couple of hours before sundown. I think I'd like to spend them with Jeannie. I'll see you, Matt.
Yeah, sure. Goodbye, Bert.
I declare I just can't see any way of stopping it, Mr. Dillon.
I can't either.
I'd sure hate to be in Bert Wells' shoes.
I'd hate worse to be in Beaudry's. He'll never submit to arrest. Chester, I'm going to have to kill him.
Why don't you relax, Matt? You're nervous as a cat.
Yeah, and I'll stay nervous, Kitty, until I find out what's happened to those two.
Beaudry slipped out the back way just at dusk. The piano player saw him.
Yeah. Well, Bert pulled the same trick. I had a couple of boys watching a blacksmith shop, but he managed to give them the slip.
There's nothing you can do now, Matt.
Well,
Another killing. And you in the middle again. Why, Matt? Why do you do it?
it's a job, Kitty. Somebody's got to do it.
But why you? There are other things in life if you look around for them.
Well, maybe I will someday.
Will you look my way, Matt?
Well, Matt, I brought my kit. I'm all prepared. Where are the victims?
No victims yet, Doc. You're jumping the gun.
Well, I understand it's going to be a real showdown. The boys at the bar are offering 2-1 on Beaudry.
That's about the odds I figure if the shooting really starts.
Oh, it'll start all right. Oh, there's not a thing in the world can stop it.
Chester, what are you doing in here? I told you to watch that street.
Yes, sir, I know you did.
The fight's as likely to start out there as any place else.
No, sir, Mr. Dillon. I guess there's not going to be any fight.
What?
They just found Beaudry lying in an alley down the block.
Matt.
Somebody sneaked up behind him with a hammer. He's sure dead. No light showing around the house, Mr. Dillon.
No. Nor the shop either. He might have skipped out.
Well, what about his wife, though?
I don't know, Chester. I can't figure any of this. It's not like Bert to pull a sneaking trick like that.
Hold it. Don't move.
He's there to the tree, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Bert?
Who is it? Who's that?
Matt. Chester's with me. You better put away the gun.
All right, Matt. I thought it was somebody else.
Who, Bert?
You know who. Beaudry, of course.
Guess I better take your gun.
Official, Matt?
Official?
Well, I got no quarrel with the law. Here.
Thank you. Now, why did you do it?
What do you mean?
If it had been a gunfight, the law couldn't have touched you. The circumstances are all in your favor. But this way they'll call it murder, and they'll be right, because that's what it was.
Matt, what are you talking about?
It's no use. You left the hammer lying right beside his body. It's got your shop brand carved in the handle of it.
Whose body you talking about? You mean Beaudry?
Yeah, sure, Beaudry.
Matt, you're making a mistake. I went looking for Beaudry, yes, but I didn't find him. Then I come back here. I was afraid to leave Jeannie there in the house alone. I didn't do it, Matt. You're wrong.
It's not up to me, Bert. It's the court's job. All I can do is take you in. The evidence is too strong, and I got no choice.
No choice. I didn't have a choice either. We must have had a choice somewhere back down the line. When? Where was it we could have stopped and turned back?
I'm a marshal, not a philosopher. Now, let's go.
What about Jeannie? I got to tell her.
Chester will take care of it.
It'd be better if you do it, Matt. You're a friend. That'd make it easier.
I'd rather not if you don't mind. Now, come on, let's go. All right, Bert, step inside.
4 years we've been friends, Matt. I never thought it would come to this.
Neither did I.
You said you didn't find any money on him. It could have been robbery.
Or made to look like robbery. But either way, there's nothing I can do. Now, you better step inside. I'll bring you some blankets and tobacco. If you want anything else, let me know.
Wish I knew how Jeannie was taking it.
She'll be all right. She's a fine girl.
Matt, look out for her, will you?
Bert, a man's job is one thing, friendship's another. This prairie country is rough and tough and wild at the best. And without the law, nobody could survive in it. And that means putting friendship aside sometimes. But the man still doesn't forget. Yeah, I'll look out for her.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll see you later.
Well, you get your prisoner tucked in safely, Matt?
What about Beaudry?
He's dead. Absolutely dead. In fact, I never saw anybody any deader. Blacksmith hammer makes a mighty fine weapon.
Yeah, at least for sneaking up behind.
I can't figure Bert doing that. It's not like him.
Sometimes a man changes under pressure, Doc. Yeah, I can't figure it either.
What would you say his chances are?
Bad. Straws all point one way.
Yes, maybe somebody's been messing with the straw stack.
Who?
That's a good question, man.
Well, the court will ask it.
Yeah, if he ever gets there.
What do you mean?
I just come from Texas Trail a while ago, and some of the boys are kind of riled up. They're talking real loose.
No law against talking.
Doubt if they aim to leave it at talking, Matt. They figure the evidence is a little on the weak side. A court might turn Bert loose. So they're saying it's up to them.
Yeah, they're just mad because they lost their source of free drink.
Well, maybe so, but you better keep your eyes open, Matt.
Yeah, I know that pack, Doc. They hunt in the dark and pull down stragglers, and mostly they just talk. So don't worry. Bert's in jail, and that's where he's going to stay.
Matt? Matt, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Wait a minute, I'll light the lamp.
What were you doing sitting here in the dark?
Yeah, just thinking, wondering. You shouldn't have come here, Jeannie.
Matt, I want to see Bert.
No visitors after dark. It's a jail rule.
Rules don't have to be enforced.
Mine do. Bert's a prisoner, same as any other prisoner. He's charged with murder.
He didn't do it, Matt.
It's not for me to say.
But you know he didn't. You know Bert. You know he wouldn't do a thing like that. Sneak up behind a man's back in the dark.
I'm not the court, Jeannie.
I know. And they'll believe he did it.
Yeah, the night train's coming in. Hope it's not bringing in trouble.
The morning train did. Matt, I want to see Bert.
I told you that you... Why, you little fool. Give me the gun, Jeannie.
No, I warn you, Matt, stay
Give
back.
me the gun.
No, Matt. So help me,
I said hand it over.
You knew I wouldn't shoot.
Yeah. Now, what did you hope to gain by
I don't know. Get Bert out. Maybe I don't know. None of this is his fault. Something's got to be done. Matt, you've got to help me.
Easy.
Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, what is it, Chester?
I just come from the Texas Trail. I think there's going to be some trouble.
Trouble?
The bunch that hangs out around there are doing a lot of drinking and talking up the idea of coming over here to the jail.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe we ought to go over there and do some talking ourselves. Jeannie, I think the best thing for you to do is to go back home and stay there till morning. Now, don't worry about this. Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, but, Matt, you can't handle that crowd alone.
I've been handling things alone for a long time. All right, Chester.
The oath of Jim Nixon's the one who's been egging them on, Mr. Dillon, over there at the end of the bar.
Yeah, he struck up an acquaintance with Beaudry when he first got off the train. Guess he figures he's an old partner by now. Well, come on.
Yes, sir.
Matt, wait.
Later, Kitty, I got some business with the boys at the bar.
That's what I mean. Tulsa Jim's been buying them drinks for the last 2 hours. They're in a real nasty mood.
So?
So be careful, Matt. That's all. Just be careful.
Kitty, I'm the carefulest man you know.
Sure. We got the law here in Dodge. Supposedly. But what kind of a law is it that lets a man sneak up behind somebody in the dark and murder him in cold blood?
I don't know, Tulsa. Suppose you tell me.
Dillon.
Now, don't let me interrupt you. You were doing fine. Well, this is quite an audience you got. All the panhandlers, bums, and barflies in Dodge. It's quite a collection.
Well, calling names won't change the facts, Dillon.
What facts?
A friend of yours, Bert Wells, that sneaking, cowardly murderer.
That's for the court to decide, Tulsa.
The court? They'll turn them loose. They work hand in glove with you. Dillon, we're not going to stand for it.
All right, shut up! So you're not going to stand for it, huh? Well, just what are you planning to do?
You'll find out in due time, Dillon. Well, I intend to set them up again all around.
You've turned into quite a free spender, Tulsa. I never knew you to... A double eagle gold piece. You mind if I take a look at it?
It's good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Where'd you get it?
That's my business, Dillon.
So you're the one who killed Baudry.
That's a lie.
I thought robbing him was just a cover-up, but it wasn't. There aren't many double eagles around Dodge. Baudry had a lot of them. Now you. Why would you get a pocket full of gold pieces, Tulsa?
Wells killed Baudry. The blacksmith hammer was lying right beside him.
Yes, where you left it.
What does she mean?
Tulsa Jim came into my husband's shop late this afternoon. His horse had thrown a shoe. He had plenty of chance to steal that hammer.
She's lying.
Where did you get the gold, Tulsa?
I won it in the poker game. Last week when the trail herd would...
Tulsa, you're under arrest for murder.
No, you'll never take me.
All right, Doc. You better get up an inquest.
Confound it, Matt. You never give me any chance to practice on live people.
Yeah. You wouldn't know what to do with them, Doc.
Well, I do get fewer complaints this way.
Matt, does this mean that Bert's free?
You shouldn't have come here, Jeannie. Yeah, he's free. Chester will go with you over to the jail and let him out.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for everything. You told me one time in Louisville that...
Louisville? That was a long time ago and a long way off. So, goodbye, Jeannie.
Goodbye, Matt.
What's it all about, Matt?
What? What's anything all about, Kitty? Professor, what do you say we'll have a little tune, huh?
Why, sure thing, Mr. Dillon. What'd you like to hear?
Oh, how about that one of Foster's? Jeannie. Jeannie with the light brown hair.
You bet.
You knew her before, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, I met her in Louisville one summer. Saw her quite a lot for a couple of months. And then I drifted out west.
A man misses out on things by drifting.
I told her then if she ever needed help to call on me.
Well, she called, and you helped her.
Yeah, I guess. Well, anyway, that's that.
Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, Kitty.
When are you going to help yourself?
Two episodes from July of 1952, the first year of Gunsmoke, and in that second episode, we now have the entire cast. Georgia Ellis has joined us as Miss Kitty. And that's it for this time around. I'm Dennis Daly. Thanks for joining me on Gunsmoke Theater as we go back into the archives to play more of the episodes of the radio show that changed everything for the better. Gunsmoke, right here on YouTube.